Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we are going to see the program which is first index of occurrence for a given element using recursion. Okay, so we have a input which is an array and the element of array is 2 3 6 9 8 3 2 6. Okay, and here there is a value of d, that is a 3. Okay, and what we need to find out, we need to find out the occurrence of d. Like in array we will find out the 3 which is 1, index 1. So in output we have to return 1. So here the explanation of output, the return the first occurrence of index of an element which is d. Okay, and if it is not found then return 1. Like if we are taking 4 and the value of d, and if 4 is not, like we will have to find out the 4 inside the array, and we can see that there is no any 4, so we will return -1. Okay, in this situation it will return -1. So we will write the structure of a function which will be like function fi find index of first occurrence, and then it will be like we will pass array and then index, and then here will be the value of d. Okay, body will be open and then body will be closed, and here the function will be like fi and now array, and the index value will be 0, and then the d, which is d is 3 here, so the value of d will be 3, and this is the body of our function. So it will, like we will implement it later. So now we will implement our high level approach. So here high level of approach. So inside our high level, the first one is expectation. So what we are expecting from this method or this program, so we are expecting that if we are passing fi of array index and here d, which means fi of array and here index will be like 0 and the d will be 3. Okay, so if we are passing these elements, so inside of fi function, so it should return what? It should return the the first occurrence. So here it should what return? It should return first occurrence of index for an element which is what? Which is d equals to 3. Okay, from 0 to n, here from 0 to n. Okay, and if it is not found then return -1. Okay, as simple as that. So now the second step will be our assumption. So here we are assuming that, so here our assumption, so here we are assuming that if we are calling the same function fi of array index and the value of d, here if we are passing it, then it will behave like, sorry, here I wrote fif, which will be like wrong, so fi. Okay, so if here we are passing array and now we are incrementing the index which is like 1. Okay, so it should return what? It should return, mean it return first occurrence of index for an element d equals to 3. Okay, and from where? From 1 to n, and if it is not found then return what? It should return -1. Okay, so here what we are going to do, so here inside we can see in array, if for our assumptions, if we are passing index as a 1, so it will return the first occurrence of d which is 3. So it will return what? It will return the first occurrence of d which will be 1. Okay, from inside this one. So this is our assumption. So now we will meet from our assumptions, and what was our expectation? Expectation was if we are passing 0, it should return from this much amount of array. So now we will meet this. So here we will meet our assumptions to our expectation. So what will we do? We need to do, we just need to find out the, firstly we have to find out this one. Okay, it means we have to find out the first occurrence of index inside this smaller array. Okay, and later on we have to check for this one, like if we are finding the occurrence of this is index inside a smaller array, if it is returning the index which is like 1. Okay, so now at that point of time, if we will have to compare d what? D to array of 0, so it will be like d equals to 3. So here the array of 0 will be 2, so 2 equals to not 2 is not equals to 3, so it will return what? It will return index which is 1, and if both are equal then it will return what? 0. Okay, so the value of index will be updated here. So here we will implement, so here we will implement the same. So we will like create a function, so which will be like function of fi find index, and here we are passing array then index, and here d which is will be like x. We are receiving that d with the name of x. Okay, and here we will store the function like find first occurrence inside smaller array. Okay, and it will be like fi of array, and here we are incrementing the index, so it will be like index +1, and here it will be x. Okay, and then we will check the condition. If array of index equals to x, so it will return index. Okay, otherwise in else condition it will what return? It will return FIISA, find first index in smaller array, means previous value. It should not need to change. And then here we will close the body of function and call fi of array, and here we are going to pass 0 and then the value of d, which is ultimately 3. Okay, so here this one is the first one, like this is our first line of code and this one is our second line of code. Okay, now we will implement our stack. So here we will implement a low level approach which will be like stack implementation. Okay, so here will be our array, so it will be like 2 3 6 9 8 3 2 6 2 4. Okay, and we will indexing is like 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This one is 9. Okay, and here the value of like address of array will be 5k. Okay, and now we will implement our stack. So it will be like here this will be our main function, value of array, address of array, that will be like 5k. Here it will be like array, and this one will be like index, and here the value of x. So index, initially index will be 0 and x will be 3. Okay, so now we will like execute the code one by one. So here we will like execute line number 1. So here our cursor will be go to 0 index. Okay, so it on this 0 index, what it is doing, it is like increasing the index value. Okay, so here we have to increase our value of index. So it will be like whenever it line number 1 execute, it will call again address of array, then here the increasing index value, so it will be pointing to the 1. So this one will be the same, the value of x will be same, and again the line number 1 will be executed and it again increase the value of x, sorry, value of index, so it will be now 2. So here this will be 2 and remaining same. This process will like here line number 1 will execute again. This process will repeatedly repeating. So here it will be again 3 and line number 1 execute again. So it will be go inside this one index number 4. So here it will be like index number 4 and 3, and then it will again execute and increase the index value. So it will be like 5k, then 5, then 3. Okay, and it will again increase it, so it will be like 5k, and here 6, then 3. Okay, and again it's increasing, so this will be like 7, 3 and 1. So here line number 1, like line number 1 execute again, so it will increase again the value of index. So this will be like 5k, and here it will be 8. The remaining things will be same. Again line number 1 executes, so it will be like 1, and now it is 5k and the value of index is 9, and then the value is 3. The value is x equals to 3. Okay, and again it is increasing when line number 1 will execute, so it will again increase. So now at this point of time it will again 5k, and here the index value will be 10, and remaining things will be same. Now it will go here 10. So here we need to figure out, we need to understand that if in like here the index is 10 and the length of this array will be 10. Okay, so here we have to set our base case, that will be like if length of array means array dot len length equals to what, index, like index equals to array, which is like 10 and 10 both are same, then it should return what, it should return -1. Okay, means we are not like we didn't find the exact occurrence of that particular value. Okay, so it will return what, it will return here -1. Okay, so it will return -1. So this is our base case. So here we will implement this. So here if index equals to like array dot length, then it will return -1. Okay, so this is our base case. So now this will be written here to -1. Okay, so again now line number 2 will execute, means it will check the index value. If both are same, means the value which is inside the array and the value of x will both are equal, then it will return index, otherwise it will return which was returning previously like -1. Okay, so here for a 9, index number 9, line number 2 will execute, and the cursor will check what it will check, it will check like array of 9 which is 4 is not equals to 3, so it will return what, it will return -1 to index number 8. Okay, so it will return -1 to index number 8. Okay, and again line number 2 will execute for a 8. Okay, so here it will again check, so 8, array of 8 which is 2 is not equals to x which is 3, so 2 is not equals to 3, then it will return again what, -1, so it will return to index number 7 which is -1. Okay, and again array of like here line number 2 execute for 7, index number 7, so it will check like index number 7, so array of 7 will be 6 is not equals to x which is 3, so it will again return index number 6 which is -1. Okay, so here it will return to index number 6, and then again line number 2 execute, and here for index 6 it will check index of 6 which is 2 is not equals to x which is 3, so both are not equal, so it will again return -1. 1, which is this statement. Okay, so it will return for index 5 and it returning the -1 value. So here again line number 2 will execute. So it will check like index, array of index, which is array of 5. Array of 5 equals to 3. So 3 is equals to x, which is 3 again. So it will return what? It will return index. So here index is 5, so it will return 5. Now here for index number 4, index number 5 is returning his index value, so it is 5. Okay, and now line number 2 executes again for index 4. So it will check 8 is not equals to 3, so it will return again its previous value, which is 5. Okay, so it will again return to index 3, which is 5, and again the line number 2 will execute here for index 3. So it will again compare. So 9 is not equals to 3, so it will return to index 3 as a previous value, which is 5. Okay, here it will return 5 to index 2. Again line number 2 will execute, and the cursor will check for index 2, which is 6. 6 is not equals to 3, so it will return the previous value, which is 5, to index 1. Okay, so here index 1. So for index 1 it will again check. So here 3 is equals to 3, so it will return its own index value, so it will be like 1. Now here the value of index will be updated, so it will be like 1. Okay, so here it will return. Okay, and for a 0, index of 0, which is 2 is not equals to 3, so it will return the previous value, which is 1. Okay, so here we will execute line number 2 and it will return 1, which is our answer here both. Okay, so now we can see that here what we are doing here, we are just like, first we need to go the end of the array. Okay, so and then we have to compare. So in this process, this is the perfect process for like executing the code and find the exact result, but it is time consuming. Like it is time consuming, so here the time complexity will be high, so we need to increase that time complexity. So what we have to do for such a thing? So here we can notice that firstly we need to go last of array, and then we have to compare one by one. So it will like taking a huge amount of time. So instead of going and checking it, so for, what we can do, we can just check it from here onwards. Okay, if we are checking like array of this statement, like line number 2 will execute first, then line number 1. So what will it do? It will do simply, firstly it will compare, like if index 0 is equals to x, which is 3. So if 2 is equals to 3, then it will be like, if both are equal, then it will return index, which is 0. Otherwise it will increase the index. So here we will increase in index and check it again. So here we need to call this one line number 1. So at that point of time we will find out the 3 and return the index, which will be 1. So this will be our output. We in this case we can find our expected output in only second of execution. Okay, we don't need to go the end of the array, this one. So here we will implement, like we reverse these steps, so we can reduce our time complexity. Okay, so here we look, now our function will look like that. Function fi, we are passing array, index, and then x. Okay, body of open of a function. Then here we will implement our base case, which was like our base case, this one. Okay, so here it will be like if index equals to array of length. Okay, so now at that point of time it should return what? -1. Okay, and if it is not equals to, then if here it will compare array of index, so it will compare to x. Okay, if both are equal, then it will return what? Index. Okay, and if it is not equals to, then it will return what? Return here I find first index in a smaller array. It will find out that one. Okay, so here this step will be like, we will correct it, like it will be like return the first index in smaller array. So it will be like let fi sa equals to fi of array and then index plus 1. Okay, smaller array, and then here it will be like x. Okay, and now return what? Fi sa. Okay, and it will be closed. Here the body of function will be closed, and now we will call function, which will be like array. Here index will be 0 and the value of d, which is 3. Okay, so this is our exact function which we need to implement. So we will implement the practical implementation in VS Code. So we will look into that. Okay, so here we are going to see the live implementation of find first index. So here is the whole program which we recently created, and now we will implement here. Okay, so here we define an array in which we have like the element which we discuss in our examples. Okay, and here the value of d means the variable which we need to find out. Okay, so we create a find first index function, and over here we pass an array, and then the second parameter is index, and the third one is d means the element which we need to find. Okay, and this is our functional body. Okay, so and here we call that particular function, pass the array, and initially we pass the index as a 0. Okay, and element which we need to find out, that will be like 3. So here we pass a 3. Otherwise we can pass here d as well. Okay, so here we pass a d, and now here we store the value of this function. Like after executing this function, it will return some sort of value, and it will store in ffi. Okay, and then ffi will console here. So here we will implement the logic. So first of all we will implement the base case. So what was the base case? If index equals to array dot length. Okay, so then it should return what? It should return -1, means element is not existent in the particular array. Okay, and otherwise if array of index edx, okay, equals to what? Equals to d, then it should return what? It should return index edx. Okay, otherwise else it will calculate let find first index in smaller array. It means it will find the variable like the element inside the array from 1. Okay, so here it will be like index will be index plus 1. Okay, and then pass the parameter, and then we will calculate it and return the same ffi sa. Okay, here is our program. Now we will execute it. So here we can see that the value like here d was 3. Okay, so the index of 3 is 1. Okay, so it returns 1. And if we are taking the example for 8, so here we will add 1 8 extra. So now if we are going to find out 8, so we change the value and then we execute, it will be probably 4. Okay, so we can see here the index will be 4. So how it calculates? The index of 2 is 0, p is 1, 6 is 2, 9 is 3, and 8 is 4. So it returns 4. If we are try to find out the index of 6, so it will return 2. It should return 2. Okay, so let's check. So here this is 2. So that's it for this video. I will provide the link of this code in description, so you can download with the link, and we will meet you again with another example in new video. Till then, take care and bye.